So with Coromon coming to Nintendo Switch on July 21st, I wanted to discuss something that typically comes up when we see Pokemon-esque games like Coromon, Nexomon, Temtem, etc. That being the idea that these games bring nothing to the table other than being cheap ripoffs or clones, and I have discussed in the past why games like Monster Sanctuary or Kindred Fates were unjustly called clones, which I mean, they don't even play like Pokemon, but these games do and are a lot easier to write off because of this. Today I'm going to be going over a few of what Coromon brings to the table and why games like this need to exist in the current monster taming landscape in relation to something like Pokemon. That said, let's dive in. Okay, so first of all, yes, Coromon is a game heavily inspired by Pokemon, that's no secret, and it even has many one-to-one equivalents like certain traits that function similarly, certain moves, items, etc. The developers never once claimed they were not trying to emulate a classic Pokemon experience. However, Coromon does in fact bring its own unique aspects to the table, and we'll briefly be discussing them here. First of all, Coromon has its own unique potential system, which combines the shiny system with the inherent value system, making for an interesting dynamic as far as shiny hunting is concerned. Coromon all have an innate potential ranging from 1 to 21, their stat growth and their shininess, if you will. A normal Coromon has a value of 16 or less, a potent Coromon has a value of 17 to 20 and has its own color palette, and finally a perfect Coromon has a value of 21 and comes with its own third color palette. This system to me is the best way to deal with shininess outside of scrapping potential as a whole, because it makes it so that your shinies are actually good, whereas in Pokemon, all shinies are essentially just as good or bad as any other Pokemon, with its stats being randomized. Coromon also does not focus on a gym challenge equivalent like something like Temtem does, but instead has its own unique boss battles that act like your own typical strong enemy that requires your whole team to defeat that you'd see in an RPG. These mega bosses are not capturable and can manipulate the terrain to their advantage and require adequate team building to defeat. You could argue that this is kind of like Totem Pokemon, but number one, Coromon has been in development since before Sun and Moon came out, and number two, again, this is not a Pokemon specific thing, this is an RPG thing. The game is also propelled by plot rather than just plot happening whilst you're trying to get badges, which admittedly Coromon's plot isn't anything groundbreaking. It does still, however, outclass more modern Pokemon titles, at least when discussing the actual in-game story. I know Pokemon games have some amazing background lore, so I'm not even going to try to downplay that. It's like this weird thing with Pokemon where the game's stories aren't that good, but the sort of surrounding plot and lore behind it is pretty phenomenal. Coromon also has various difficulty options ranging from easy to insane, and even custom mode that allows for a complete control over your playthrough options. Want to play a Nuzlocke where if your Coromon faint, they die? Check. What about a randomizer where all Coromon are completely random and even the moves they learn are randomized? Check. Maybe you want to play with the training wheels on and have everything super easy, make all the in-store prices cheaper, make it so your HP heals after battles. Hell, you could even catch other trainer Coromon, etc. Nuzlocks and randomizers are nothing new to Pokemon fans, but this is not because of Pokemon. This is because of the fans that wanted to do something with the Pokemon game to add further replayability, and not everyone wants to play on an emulator or jailbreak their systems as far as randomization goes. So Coromon has all of that native into the game. Even the game's direction in terms of pixel art and its inspiration, clearly being from the coveted Gens 3, 4, and 5, don't really apply to it copying Pokemon in the current era. I think for fans of the previously mentioned generations, it is really important to have games like Coromon that emulate that not only nostalgic, but also preferred way of playing. We will likely never see a new non-remake Pokemon game in this sort of vein ever again, since Pokemon has gone to 3D, and to people whom are very vitriolic about Coromon's existence, I have to ask, why does this bother you so much? Sure, it's like old school Pokemon, but if Pokemon isn't going to continue making those types of games, what's the big deal if another development studio picks up on it, improves certain aspects of it, and has its own spin on it? Most people I see criticizing this game for its similarities to Pokemon haven't actually played the game and experienced what it has to offer. Give this game a chance, and honestly, I think you'll be surprised. But yeah, that's pretty much my little spiel for today. I think that in Pokemon turning 3D, it did lose some aspects of its more classic formula, and if other games want to sort of emulate and improve on that, I think that's not only something that people shouldn't be bothered by, I would argue that this is something we need as older fans of the genre. But as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I know Coromon's not for everyone, just like any other game that exists. If you do like monster taming content, definitely subscribe to my channel. You can also check me out on Twitter, Discord, and my Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to my patrons, especially Steel Case, Dark Persona, Dro Ghost, and Jim Hamilton. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.